Hey Nintendo fans, I'm TheJWittz and welcome to Weekly Nintendo News, where there are more E3 rumors than castles Princess Peach isn't in. Starting with real E3 news that we do know, Nintendo has announced two 90-minute developer meetups at E3 this year. Similar to the 90-minute developer meetup that they had last year that I attended for Pokemon X and Y, they're going to have one for Super Smash Bros. And one for an unannounced 3DS title. Now, considering this news came after the announcement of the upcoming Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, one has to speculate, what is this mystery 3DS game? And speaking of Nintendo games that we don't know anything about, it's that time of year again. People are getting together to create the most convincing hoax post they can to prove that Nintendo's E3 lineup has been leaked to the public, and we will learn what games are coming ahead of time. Now, every once in a while, a real leak does make its way through, but so far everything I've read just seems like a total hoax. That said, each list that has appeared on the internet so far seems to be a combination of all our Nintendo fans' hopes and dreams into one piece of paper, and while I don't believe for a second that any of these are true, they do represent a ton of games that I would love to see from Nintendo. Things like an upcoming new Zelda game. Some have speculated that it's going to be Shard of Nightmare. I highly doubt it because that source material looks extremely fake, but everybody seems to agree a new Zelda game is coming out. Then you have things like a potential new coming F-Zero game, or an upcoming Metroid game for the 3DS, or a new Star Fox game for the Wii U. Even though a lot of these lists are clearly fake, I'm excited to see what Nintendo does. I'd love to see new IP, and I'd also like to see some of their old classic IP revived on some of their new consoles. Either way, I'm just hoping Nintendo has a great, successful E3 with lots of announcements. I'm going to be there this year trying to get some of my best video coverage of an E3 yet, so hopefully I'll see you guys there with some real Nintendo news. In Smash Bros. News, it's been announced that you can play as both the male and female villager in the upcoming Animal Crossing character, akin to what we've seen from the male and female Wii Fit trainer. This seems pretty cool, but seeing these four characters standing next to each other just begs the desire. Why couldn't there be some way that you could connect your actual Animal Crossing villager character, bring that avatar right into the game and play as that? Even though there's no way that'll ever happen, I'm still excited to have the character, and he's definitely one of my favorite new additions so far. In legal news, electronics manufacturer Philips has issued a patent infringement on Nintendo, citing both the Wii and the Wii U as infringing across different patents that Philips holds, including a virtual body control device. Now, as a longtime fan of Nintendo, I've seen lawsuits like these crop up again and again and again against the different kinds of unique technology that Nintendo uses. Now, patent law is a little interesting. Sometimes people create something without realizing there's an existing patent. Sometimes there's pretty gray lines between what's infringement and what's a unique concept. That being said, I've followed Nintendo long enough to see that most of these patents are usually fraudulent. However, last year was the first time I've ever seen Nintendo lose one of these things when someone who approached Nintendo for glasses-free 3D technology was not paid or consulted in any way after the creation of the Nintendo 3DS. So they actually had to pay him out $30 million, and the true irony of it all is that the 3D is probably the least used function of the 3DS, which is probably why we have the 2DS. While it will be interesting to see where this lawsuit goes, it's kinda hard to root for Philips when they hold record for both the worst Zelda games and Mario games of all time on their Philips CDI console. And finally, unfortunately, that time has come. Nintendo will be shutting down their Wi-Fi services for some of their older systems, including the DS and the Wii, on May 20th, which is tomorrow, if you're watching this video the day it came out. I encourage you to spend today and tomorrow playing those games online as you once enjoyed them before that service is gone. I know there are a lot of fan projects attempting to find different ways to still play over a Wi-Fi network using some kind of created server. I'm still learning about that kind of technology. Maybe I'll talk about it in a future video if I can learn. There's some way where you can still play these old games online. But until then, it's been fun. Tetris DS, Advance Wars, old Mario Kart, old Pokemon games, Super Smash Bros. Even though you were a little laggy, Smash Bros. And I will miss you all. That's all for today's Nintendo news, but as always, if you enjoyed this video and want to catch more Nintendo news videos right when they come out, you can click this button right here to subscribe to my channel, get alerts right when my new content is created. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.